ahead and use them. What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Gesundheit.
Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good!
Well, I'll tell you, nobody handles garbage better than we do.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. What are you smiling about?
Dude, I almost had you.
Left cheek! Left cheek! Left cheek!
Hey guys, welcome to my next review. This is the Blokees Transformers 1 Classic Class Megatron. Now I picked this up from one of my local comic book shops. They have a decent amount of Blokees in stock, and I've been digging these Classic Class Blokees, this version of the Blokees, and I was really impressed with this Megatron. So there is some subtle changes that they did with this one as opposed to some of the other Classic Class that I've been putting together. So first, let's take a look at the packaging. So here's the front of the box with a look at Megatron, and there's like a, if you can't tell, there's like a foil, like hologram look to this, and then here's the bottom, and it kind of explains. It's because it's like a model kit, 71 pieces. You don't need any glue, paint, or it says you don't need nippers, but I usually use nippers when I build these. Here's the side of the packaging, same. Well, is it the same? No, it's different artwork on the side. Here's the opposite side, showing Megatron and his accessories. He comes with an extra set of hands and two weapons that can, if you can see, go on his arm. And then here's the back with a little bit of a bio. And then kinds of shows what all of your different sprues are in the box. And then the bottom's just warnings. And then here's the barcode. All right, so let's see. Let's put the box away and let's take a look at the figure. Let's see, so here's Megatron. Actually, I'm gonna put the camera down a little bit so we can get a better look at him. So yeah, here's Megatron. Here's a good look at his face sculpt. And like, so when I was building this, like, oh, there's a lot of grays and silvers. And then once you get some of to the red bits, they just pop on this character, this figure. it's just yeah. So let's see. Let's go over some articulation. So the head's just on a ball joint, and he can bend down that far, go up there. Not a whole lot. He can do the puzzled sideways look. Shoulders have a butterfly. Pretty decent butterfly on them for what it is. Now there is a hindrance. So this shoulder piece, you kind of have to lift up to get his arm to go up. That's the furthest you can go up, but yeah, it's just hinged on, if you can kind of see in there. And it can do full rotation. And this is just on a ball joint. Elbows 90 degrees. Hands are on a ball joint, so you can, wiggle them in and out a little bit, and full rotation. There is a waist swivel, and then these skirts can go up, and then you can get his legs. You can do the full splits. But see, if you don't lift that up, the leg can pop that off. But the hip skirts are on a ball joint. And the hips are a ball joint. So there's a little bit of rotation in the hips. There's a rotation at the knee. Oh, that's why I didn't show off in the elbow. So there is a swivel at the elbow. Knees, single jointed knee, but you can get more than 90 degrees. Foot is on a ball joint, and that's your rocker. Not much of a rocker. And then it doesn't really pivot forward and back too much. But you know what? I lied. So you can lift that panel up, and then you can get a big forward toe bend. And so that's it for articulation. Let's tilt this down a little bit more. Let's lower the camera down, get more. So as I mentioned, his hands are on ball joints, and if you want, he has two sets of hands. He has a pair of fists like this hand, and then he has the sprawled out hand like that. Kind of get a look at that, and it has really decent details in it. And then they just pop right back in. And if you want, you can take this gun off. Maybe it's tabbed in really good. Let's see if I can use a spudger and pop it off. All right, never mind. I'm not taking it off. But his fusion cannon can come off. But I'm not gonna mess with that. One other thing is all of these classic class, and it might be on right now. They have a light up feature, and that's all you have to do is tap them, and they light up. But with this ring light on, you really can't see that. So let's shut it off real fast, and there you can see his eyes light up. Not only does his eyes light up, but you can remove his chest, and you can see the transformation cog that he put in his chest. The Megatronus one at the end of Transformers 1. Let's turn the light back on. There we go. That's the other thing that's nice. So you take that, once you got his chest off, you can see the really cool details that they have under it. And yeah, this was a pretty easy build. I think I did it in less than an hour. But of all the action class, they've definitely stepped it up. So this is a later wave action class, or classic class. I'm sorry. Here I'll do a comparison with one of the older classic class Blokees. Now this is Optimus Primal, and as you can tell, there is quite a bit of size difference. And this is my first Transformers 1 classic class. So if the other classic class, like, so this is number 12, I believe. So anything after this, if they're doing the same thing with these as the rest of them, I will be picking more of these up. I definitely want to get the Starscream for sure, and possibly Soundwave and Shockwave. Let's see how he looks to Galaxy class Blocky. So here's the Wave 1 Galaxy class Blue Streak. So it's considerably bigger than those. Like, I was really thinking that these are really close in design, or like the Galaxy class and the Classic class. But they've gotten a lot better with these Transformers 1. And these are very simple to build, whereas these aren't as simple. They're almost like remind me of like a Gundam kit, where you have a endoskeleton and you kind of build layers on it, and that's how you kind of get the details. But yeah, so let's see, do I have anything else to compare them with? I got a G.I. Joe Classified right here. So I would say they're probably right around 4 inches. I don't have a tape measure or anything with me. But yeah, I'm enjoying the Classic class for sure. So let's go to final thoughts. Actually, before we move on to final thoughts, I forgot one more important thing. I'm just gonna move him back a little bit. So every one of these Classic class come with two stands, and they just tab together like so. And then they also come with like effect pieces or like background pieces, and you can plug them anywhere on the stand in the holes. So like you can, so the bottom of Megatron's feet has holes, and then there's pegs, and you can peg him in. And then kind of pose them how you like. And then what you can take these effect pieces, plug them in, and it kind of looks like that. So you can kind of pose them up. Oh, and rip his head off. Let's tilt that back a little bit. So yeah, that's how he looks on a stand. Now we'll go to the final thoughts. All right, so now for my final thoughts. So this is the, like I said previously, this is the Blokees Transformers 1 Classic Class Megatron. If you're just the least bit into wanting to dip your toes in the Blokees, I highly recommend this figure. Like, there's not really any flaws to this guy when it comes to the build. I had no issues, putting pieces together. If you're intimidated by like model kits that have sprues and you have to cut and put things together, that's something you do not have to worry with this. Like I said, I think I got it built in under an hour. The instructions aren't too difficult to follow, and it's just a nice looking figure. Like, this one blew me away because I've built other Classic class, and the level of detail on this one and the increased size is it kind of shocked me how they've updated this from some of the previous ones. So like I said, highly recommend look for this figure. And yeah, that's I say go out and grab it. You can find it on Blokees' website. I found mine in a local comic book shop, so maybe depending on your level of like your comic book shops or local shops that can pick the stuff up. I would check there before going to Blokees website, so you don't have to pay that shipping cost. But yeah, so that's all I got for this guy. If you could, like, subscribe, share this video, comment. Also, look me up on all the other social medias. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, X, and I'm on Facebook page, and I'm posting news daily. So if you could, give those a follow, and feel free to interact. I love sharing the news and just talking about anything toy related, even more than Transformer stuff, even though a lot of it is Transformer stuff. So look all those up at Talib1980_collects. And thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.